Hello and welcome to Premier League Game Week 12 predictions. If you do like the Premier League predictions, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do all of that good stuff. We've got Newcastle Man City on Saturday and Arsenal Spurs on Sunday. Two cracking games to watch both on Saturday and Sunday evening, of course. So yeah, let's just jump straight to my Game Week 12 Premier League prediction. First up on Saturday at 12:30 is Burnley versus Chelsea. Burnley, despite having back-to-back defeats, it has been a decent start for them so far, and for Scott Parker's men, they still sit outside the bottom three. Chelsea a bit inconsistent at the moment, but starting to click and hit form. They do sit third in the Premier League. Currently, they take on Scott Parker's Burnley, who have lost back-to-back games, as I've previously said, against West Ham and Arsenal. They did beat Wolves and Leeds before that, which were two decent wins for Scott Parker's side in that one. They come up against a Chelsea side that had just started to click at the right time. This is probably the worst time to play Chelsea. Last they did play was a 4-1 away win for Chelsea at Burnley on the 7th of October 2023, and it was on the 30th of March 2024. Was a 2-2 draw. Burnley have only won this game one time, 5 draws and 10 wins for Chelsea. Chelsea are going to win this by 3-1 away from home at Burnley. I just think Chelsea look quite good this season and they are clicking just about now. So yeah, Chelsea to win this by 3-1 over Burnley in this one. Now into the 3 o'clockers, and the first one is Bournemouth taking on West Ham. Bournemouth have dropped off a little bit. Back-to-back defeats to Manchester City and Villa, absolutely being spanked away at Villa by 4-0 in that one. Back-to-back wins for the Irons, beating Newcastle. Bit of a stodgy win over Burnley in there as well, but they got the job done. Did Nuno Espirito Santo's side in this one. West Ham move up to 18th in the table, level on points with Burnley. I think they were 19th. No, I think after they beat Newcastle, they were up to 18th. Bournemouth sit 9th outside the top 4, outside them Champions League spots now, but it's still very, very tight and could easily get back in there in the next couple of game weeks. 5 wins for Bournemouth, 7 draws, 8 wins for West Ham. 2-0 away win for West Ham back in the Premier League summer tournament or whatever it was. 2-2 draw between the two sides on the 5th of April and a 1-1 draw on the 16th of December. Are West Ham starting to click? Maybe this is probably a time you want to play them as Bournemouth, but I think Bournemouth are going to get over the line in this one. I think they're just going to have a bit too much quality for West Ham in this one. So yeah, back in a Bournemouth 2-1 home win over West Ham United in this one, and Bournemouth to get back to winning ways in this one, 2-1 over West Ham. Battle of the Bees now as Brighton take on Brentford at the Amex, of course. Brighton drawing 0-0 to Crystal Palace last time out. Brentford beating Newcastle. Newcastle, we'll speak about them in a bit when they take on Man City. 4-2 home win for Brentford over Brighton. Last time those sides played on the 19th of April. 0-0 between them on the 27th of December. 8 wins, 5 draws, 6 wins for Brentford, and 8 wins for Brighton and 5 draws on the head-to-head record. It's 11th versus 12th, and this is where these sides belong in the Premier League at the moment. On the home form, it's 9th versus 14th on the home versus away form, on Brighton's home form and a Brentford's away form. Tough one to call, this one. I think Fabian Hurst's men might just have a bit too much quality. Is Matoma going to be back from injury? I doubt it. Still think he's still doubtful. He is due to return soon. I think he may be on the bench for this game, but I'm just going to back Brighton to win this by 1-0 over Brentford. Still think Brentford needs to sort their away form out a little bit, even though it was quite good at the back end of last season, but it's new coach and all that, so it's all going to be different. So yeah, back at Brighton to win this by 1-0 at the Amex over Brentford. Fulham versus Sunderland now then at the Cottage. Fulham really disappointing start for them under Marco Silva so far this season. They did beat Wolves by 3-0, then they went and lost at Everton. They sit 15th in the table at the moment. Yeah, not great. Last time these sides played was in the FA Cup, 3-2 away win for Sunderland after it was a replay at 1-1 at the Cottage. Last time they played in the Championship was a 2-1 home win for Fulham, 1-0 home win for Sunderland there respectively. Last time they played in the Premier League was a 4-1 win for Sunderland and a 1-0 win for Fulham on that one. Head-to-head, 5 wins for Fulham, 5 draws, 4 wins for Sunderland. Sunderland still do sit in the top 4 of the Premier League at the moment. 2-2 draw with Arsenal. Great game, that one. And a draw against Everton, which isn't too bad, I suppose. They take on a Fulham side that are pretty tricky to master, I think, at Craven Cottage at 11th at the moment. I am going to back Fulham to win this. I'm going to go for a nice 2-0 home victory. I know I'm probably going against Sunderland, who have been quite high scorers. I wouldn't be surprised if they win and won this at Craven Cottage. But yeah, backing Fulham to win this by 2-0 over Sunderland. I think the bubble might burst for Reggie Libre's side in this one. Liverpool take on Forest now then, and Forest might just stay in the bottom three for another game if they don't win this. They did get another, they barely had one this season, a 3-1 win over Leeds United in the Premier League last time out. Very much needed to win for Nottingham Forest and Sean Dyche in that one. They're taking on a Liverpool side who have just come off the back of a spanking to Manchester City 3-0, but they did beat Villa and Liverpool in that week as well, so maybe they could have been a bit tired, and Van Dijk had a goal ruled out, I think, that should have been allowed. Man City getting paid, but Man City paying the refs again. Liverpool sitting 8th, not great for them, 11 points with their local rivals Manchester United. Head-to-heads against Forest, 1-0 away with Nottingham Forest, the only team that went to Anfield last season and won in the Premier League anyway. 14th of January, it was a 1-1 draw. Unbeaten against Liverpool last season were Forest. 4 wins for Liverpool for 1 draw. 2 wins for Forest. Liverpool are still pretty good at home. They're going to beat Forest in this one. They're going to get revenge for last season at Anfield. So yeah, back in Liverpool to win this by 3-0. I think it'd be quite a comfortable win in this one for Liverpool. And yeah, they're going to beat Forest by 3-0 quite comfortably in this one. And then into the final of the 3 o'clockers. And it is Rob Edwards' first game in charge of Wolves. And it needs to be a win. I think if he's going to get any good first impressions of the Wolves fans. Their form has been abysmal. Last 5, they lost to Sunderland 2-0, Burnley 3-2, Chelsea they cut 4-3, Fulham 3-0, Chelsea 3-0. It looks absolutely dreadful for Wolverhampton Wanderers at the moment. They've conceded 25 goals in the league. That is never great. Head-to-head record, 4-2 Palace win over Wolves on the 20th of May, 2-2 draw between them back at Molineux. 11 wins for Palace, 2 draws and 5 wins for Wolves on this occasion. Wolves need to win this. Is Rob Edwards going to get a new manager bounce? I'm going to back it. Why not? 2-1 home Wolves win in this one over Palace. I just think Wolves, I don't know, I've got a feeling Rob Edwards might get them playing some decent football, and I think they're going to beat Palace by 2-1 in this one, but we'll have to wait and see because he needs a good first impression, does Rob Edwards? Otherwise pressure is just going to be on him immediately. Now into the half-5 kickoff, and if Newcastle did lose this, you'd probably be looking at Eddie Howe being under massive pressure. If they did lose this game, they need to win. They lost 3-1 to Brentford before the international break. Yes, they have an excuse. They played in Europe in the week. 2-0 win over Bilbao in there. City been on flying form. They beat Swansea in the Cup, Bournemouth in the Prem, Dortmund in the Champions League, and Liverpool in the Premier League as well. They're on a roll, Manchester City, and nothing is really stopping them. Erling Haaland is probably going to shine again in this one for City if they get over the line. 26 wins for Man City, 4 draws, only 3 wins for Newcastle. Of recent ties, was 1-1 draw last season on the 20th of September, 4-0 home win for Man City on the 15th of February in the Premier League. Tough one to call, this one. I probably am going to back City to get over the line in this one. They really want to try and mount that title challenge to Arsenal. Pep wants to reclaim his crown, of course, as Liverpool won the Premier League last season. So, I'm going to back Manchester City in this one. I'm going to go for a bit of a bonkers game because Newcastle like to do well at home and attack really well at home and score a lot of goals. So, I'm going to back 4-2 Manchester City away win in this one. I think Haaland might bag a hat-trick, maybe brace anyway. City to win this by 4-2. And I think it'd be quite a comfortable win for Pep's side in the end, and they'll just have enough quality over Newcastle in this one. Sunday's games now, and the first one is Leeds Aston Villa, and we all know the controversy of what happened in the Championship between these two sides. It was indeed on the 28th of April 2019 when all that crazy stuff happened with Bielsa. I think Leeds scored and then they purposely gave the goal to Villa or deliberately gave it. Absolute rubbish. Crazy scenes at that game. 5 wins for Villa on the head-to-heads, 5 draws, 3 wins for Leeds. Last time did play Villa. Did win by 2-1. Leeds at Leeds was a 0-0 draw on the 2nd of October 2022. Ellen Road atmosphere will be up for this. I don't know if Villa's away record is any good. It sits ninth at the table. It's not too bad, but then Leeds' home form is decent enough. They've got a few wins against some decent sides this season. Yeah, I'm going to back it. I'm going to back a 2-2. Go back a Desi in this one. So, yeah, Leeds Villa 2-2 in this one. I think it could be quite a crazy game of football, this one. So, yeah, 2-2 between Leeds and Villa in this one. Arsenal Spurs, NLD, North London Derby. Let's have this then. Arsenal conceded 2 goals away at Sunderland last time. That's the first time they conceded in, like, I don't know how many hours of football it was. It was something mental. Spurs drawing at home to Manchester United 2-2. Should have won that, but it's the curse of the Richarlison. Never take your T-shirt off and never put Richarlison on the pitch, and that won't happen. 4-0 winners over Copenhagen in the Champions League. They do okay in the Champions League. They did lose to Chelsea and Newcastle Cup and League in there as well. 1-0 away win for Spurs in pre-season. Who cares? 2-1 home win for Arsenal on the 15th of January. 1-0 away win for Arsenal on the 15th of September. Yeah, good wins. Arsenal have been pretty good recently in the North London Derby. 16 wins, 8 draws, 12 wins for Spurs. Spurs' away form has been pretty good this season. It has to be said. It has been top of the table away form, but Arsenal have had the second best home form, which leads me towards a draw in this one, just because Spurs seem to be very good away under Thomas Frank. They've got to sort that home form out though, if they are going to challenge for Champions League football, of course, or maybe even the league. I don't think Spurs are going to be competing for the league at the end of the season. We can scrap that book now. I'm going to back another 2-2 in this one. I think both games will be 2-2 on a Super Sunday. So, yeah, Arsenal 2, Spurs 2, just because Spurs' away form is pretty good. And, well, Arsenal just are good at the Emirates in general, aren't they? And North London Forever will be ringing around the Emirates on Sunday afternoon. So, yeah, 2-2 between these two. And we're not done there, as Manchester United take on Everton on the Monday Night Football. United have been pretty good. They've been unbeaten since they've brought in the new goalkeeper, Senny Lamans, beating Sunderland, beating Liverpool, beating Brighton, drawing away at Forest, which isn't a bad result at the end of the day, and drawing away at Spurs. They should have won that game with all the chances they've had. They do sit in 7th in the table. They're 11 on points with Tottenham, Villa, Liverpool, kind of teach you, apart from Liverpool, you'd expect them to be level on points, with Everton themselves only side on 15 points in the Premier League at the moment for David Moyes' side. They need to find a bit more quality up front if they are to challenge maybe to get Conference League football this season. They are just missing that little cutting edge. I know Ndai's got it, but he's not really a striker, is he? Head-to-heads look like it's 19 wins for United, 11 draws and 6 wins for Everton. 2-2 draw in the Premier League last season on the 22nd of February. And then on the 1st of December, United won that by 4 goals to 0. Tough one to call this, but I think I'm good about Manchester United. I think they will be good. Old Trafford be bouncing for this Monday night game. So yeah, I'm good about Man United by 2 goals to 0 in this one over Everton. And yeah, round off the Premier League week in style. So yeah, or weekend, whatever you want to call it. I don't class some Monday games as weekend, to be honest. But yeah, 2-0 United in this one. Thank you very much for watching my Game Week 12 Premier League predictions. If you did like the video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do all of that good stuff, and I'll speak to you all on the next one, which will be here for a review on Monday. So yeah, don't forget to stay tuned for that, and yeah, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I'll speak to you all on the next one.